Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is probably one of the most important voice AI videos that you will watch in a long time. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I have no problem debating it, whatever it is, but this is going to be a game changer for those who stick through the entire video, because you will find the gold nuggets that you're looking for. And I'm going back to explaining new things with platforms that I'm very, very passionate about. So let's start off with this. If you are still spending hours troubleshooting your voice AI agent, that is exactly what needs to change. Because honestly, the most annoying part is not even fixing an issue with a voice AI. It is having to waste all of that time figuring out what actually went wrong. Did the agent miss a question? Did it not pull the right information? Did it fail somewhere in the flow? Did it just have a weird nuance, right, that threw everything off? The worst part is when you find out because of a client and you're reactive to that client with these issues. This is when they message you first, and as time goes on, right, this can begin to hurt your credibility and eventually lose that client. It's happened to me. It's happened to a good amount of people that I know who also have agencies. And it's a common thing because you are underprepared when it comes to this. We've all been there, and you already had your day planned. Now, all of a sudden, your whole schedule gets thrown off because you have to stop everything you're doing and go investigate what happened in order to fix that issue. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can spend minutes troubleshooting your voice AI agent instead of hours. My name is Kevin Campos. I've been operating a voice AI agency for the past 2 years, and I also collaborated with Synflow for over a year. That gave me a chance to see the operational side of voice AI at a pretty large scale with enterprise. I was able to understand what was missing within that gap in the market. This is exactly why I spent the last 8 months building the platform I'm about to walk you through. Okay, so the first thing, and I'll keep this very simple, the first thing you want to do is go over and search up visionaireai.com. All right. This is an observability and optimization layer, basically a platform that helps you observe everything related to your voice AI agent, as well as have the ability to show you what you should be able to do with those leads that come in from that voice AI agent. And of course, you'll take actionable steps based off that. There's a lot of things. It also helps you fix flags that are raised, so on and so forth. We'll go through it together, but you're going to want to go ahead and get started for free. So within here, you'll go ahead and set up your account. I'm just going to go ahead and jump into mine. Once you're in your account, this is what you're going to see, right? You'll see the dashboard first. You'll probably have nothing within this tab. However, in order for us to get started, the very simple steps that you're going to want to do is go over to integrations. Within here, what this platform does is we don't really have our internal voice AI providers. What we do is we use external voice AI providers in order for you to be able to collect data from each and every single call from your agents, where your clients are living at, or what you're doing with your own voice AI if you don't have clients, right? So in this case, I'm going to show you how it looks like for Synflow. And you're going to want to paste in your API key. So once you go ahead and paste your API key here, it should be able to pull up all your agents from your specific account. So as you can see right here, it pulled it up from my account, the one that I had the API key from. And I'm just going to select this one right here. All right. So I connect this, and there are a couple of steps that you need to be completely aware of within this app, where you are going to be able to not only create the best tracking for your agent, but you're also going to keep yourself aligned with how your agent is performing. All right. Now, the first thing is you can create a practice area. In this case, I'm just going to do a medical health insurance, actually, just to test it out. Now, the first thing that you need to know is the call scoring. Okay. What is call scoring in this app? Call scoring is basically how good a lead is from your calls, from your agent. Let's say your agent is doing home services, like let's say it's an inbound receptionist for home services, and anybody that calls in gets qualified to be either a good lead or not a good lead, right? So you make this call scoring based off what you want to set up right here. So let's just do an example and set it up real quick. What it does here is it pulls up your agent, okay? And with your agent's prompt, you can generate scoring criteria. So you can go ahead and do that real quick. When you generate that scoring criteria, what it's going to do is it's going to give you 6 criteria to go off of, and you can mark this as a lower priority or a higher priority depending on what you want to do. If you don't want to do this in a way that's automated, you can just describe it manually and put it right here. That's the same thing. But yes, it just generated a good amount of criteria that I can go off of. And what it does is it scores on a scale of 1 through 100 inside this application and lets you know if this is a good lead to have or not. All right, now let's go ahead and make sure that the practice area is good. It's connected to the agent. Awesome. All right, so let's save this profile. That step is done. Now, call flags. Call flags are simple. Don't stress too much about it. It is essentially what the agent should be doing. And if it fails to do that thing that it should have done, it'll flag that agent for you and even notify you, right? So basically, an example would be missing an appointment booking. So if the agent was supposed to book an appointment and then in the call it says that the booking appointment failed, then of course that is a big issue. You need to know about that. And that takes a lot of time for you to be able to go in there, try to find it through all the calls, so on and so forth. Here, it actually checks every single one of your calls. So every single call that comes in automatically, without changing your post-call webhook, without doing any of that stuff, comes in automatically because we fetch it via API, and then it does that analysis. So let's go ahead and set up these call flags. I'm just going to click on generate recommendations based off the prompt here real quick. And it's just going to go ahead and generate some of these. Now, once these flags finish generating right here, as you can see, you will be able to identify that this is basically what your agent should be doing on call. So for example, the agent did not ask for permission to begin screening. That's obviously a compliance failure, as it states right here. So if it fails to do this, you need to be alerted. This is a critical one, obviously, because it's on the compliancy side. Now, if you don't want it to be part of the flags, you can just click on it, right? And it doesn't need to be detecting this for your voice AI agent if you don't see it being fit. Then, of course, you can also modify these and all that stuff. We have a specific tab for that. Now, from here, right, let's go through this, and you're going to be able to just go through all of them. All good. All right, perfect. We add those 21 flags. So it'll go through all of them. Once it's done, it'll take you back here. And then from here, you can actually see that the last thing that's left is call sentiment. What is call sentiment? Call sentiment is what the person that's being called by the AI or calling into the AI thinks about their experience with the AI. Obviously, a person that has a voice AI in their company implemented already needs to know if people hate their agent, their voice AI agent, or if they really like their voice AI agent. And right now, from what I can tell, there's no way of you knowing that other than going through every single one of these calls and seeing if they liked it or not. That's pretty much it at the moment. All right, so you would set this up by selecting some of the templates that we have, or you can make it in a custom way, right? Let's just go ahead and go with the customer experience route, or you could do the balanced analysis, which is the one that I recommend. But for in this case, we'll do a customer experience route and use the template. Right here, it'll send you so you can customize it in case you want to add more options onto it. In this case, I don't really need to. And you can test it if you want it with a transcript, right? If you really want to. Then you create this profile, and that's it. You're completely done. Let's go ahead and sync some calls from this agent. Now, this is a very cool thing that you need to know. You can select the amount of calls that you want to sync. You could either do one call, or you could do all the calls related to this agent to sync. There is an on and off button, which I'll explain in just a second, but this is just the manual sync side of things. Let's just do one for now. Perfect. There we go. Now, if you go over to the agents tab, you're going to see that this is syncing to the platform itself. So right here, it just finished syncing. Let's go ahead and see what it did. Right here, perfect. So this is an example from the agent that we just set up. This is an example that it made. All right. Now, one thing that you want to make sure that you do every single time whenever a new lead comes in from this agent is you want to ensure that the practice area is set to the specific practice area that you had for the call scoring, for the call flags, and the call sentiment. In this case, it was health insurance, as I had told you guys, right? And now all you have to do is, obviously, if you want to go ahead and test it, you can sync more calls if you really want to do it that way. And you could choose that call from some of the calls that you have from Simple. As in this case, I just pulled up one call. You can see there's a good amount of calls related to this agent. And if I just want to check one of these, I just go ahead and click on this, sync the call selected in order for me to be able to do the testing for that specific call. You can see there, it starts doing the testing and it starts syncing the agent once again, and it'll go through. And in the opportunity stage, you'll see that that number switched from a 13 to a 14. Perfect. You can go over here. You can see that a caller was added. In this case, obviously, there's going to be 4 calls inside of one person because it's made from the same number. So it'll add it into a dropdown for simplicity. But in here, you can actually see that the call that was just scored, which was Bill, who had that call, had a score of 69, right? So you can see the scoring right here. You can see what criteria was met, what criteria was not met. You could see how the person that had that call thought about the voice AI agent. In this case, they had a score of 84, so they really liked the agent. And then, of course, you could see any flags that might happen with the agent, right? Anything that the agent should have been doing, but didn't do successfully, okay? So, in order to show you what you can do with these flags, obviously, there's a couple other things that I want to touch base on. Obviously, you'll have that call summary that you kind of need for this. You'll have the QA. So this is all the questions that were asked within this. So if you wanted to ask how old, right, is that person? How old is your dad? Around 70. You can view it in the transcript. So it brings it to the exact point of where that question was asked in the transcript. So that part's very solid. You can see the scoring as I showed you and what sentiment profile it was scored by, which is the one that we created together. And then here, you can also see all the flags that were detected by that specific agent, right? By the scoring, by the flags that we made ourselves, okay? All right, so if I click on the view issue analysis of this flag, I should be able to do either a single fix or an A/B optimized fix. Now, the issue analysis right here, what it's going to do is it's actually going to pull up the exact positioning of where you're having this issue within your prompt. So this is your prompt right here. In this case, this flag says the agent did not ask all required screening questions. So here it actually points to that specific spot where it has that. And what I can do is I will go ahead and use this specific LLM variations where what it does specifically is it generates a prompt fix with 3 different LLM variations, and then it does an A and B simulation to see which LLM is performing best based off the changes that it made. Then it picks a winner, and easily from there you can push it out to your agent that is live. Now let's go ahead and test that out. You generate these 3 variations. So it goes through here. It drafts the strategies for each of them. I'll go ahead and skip this part so you don't need to watch. Now, once it finishes creating the 3 variations that you have for this specifically, you will be able to then run these simulations. So before I run the simulations, you can see that there's 3 different types of variants here. Now here, you'll see that this is what it added with that version 1. This is what it added with that version 2. And this is what it added with version 3. Let's go ahead and figure out which one of these 3 actually works the best. So I'll go ahead and click on run simulations here. It'll go through it. It'll test all of them. It'll start running a simulation for each and every single one of these. It'll start with version 1. Go through this process. Takes some seconds here real quick. It shouldn't take very long, but it's very clean. What it's going to do is it's actually going to test everything that you need to test for these. And then it's going to let you know which one out of these 3 variations is the best in order for you to go ahead and just publish it out to that agent specifically. So right here, it was able to figure out that the version generated by GPT-5 was actually the best one, and it had a 100% success rate. So with knowing this, all I need to do is go ahead and push version 2 to the live agent. So I'll push it to the live agent. And what that will actually perform is an API where it goes into your live agent within your platform. So in this case, it was Synflow. It goes to Synflow and it updates your prompt without changing anything that you had back before, obviously. But it's just adding that extra line right here to your prompt. So that's as simple as it can be. And I can even show you guys as well what that looks like. So going to my agent, you could see the first one right here is the one that we were doing. And if I go back to this right here, just to review what was changed specifically, I can go over to the change, and then I could just go ahead and copy some of these, paste it, and here it is. So as you can see, it just provided that specific information based off GPT-5, and it updated the prompt live without changing anything related to the prompt. Now, what I can do is go back into the application, and I can go and mark all the issues related to this as resolved. So this will go ahead and resolve all the issues related to that flag. And now this is no longer a flag that I need to be aware of because it's already resolved. And that's how fast you're able to set up an agent within the Visionaire platform. So guys, if you have any questions whatsoever related to the application, anything like that, the link to get started will be in the description down below. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will be there to help you personally. I'll be posting a lot more videos, a lot more tutorials of this app that I'm very passionate for watching. Hit the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.